play well in anything, you first of all need to relax. So very important exercises by Kenny Werner. I would recommend you this strongly, because one is just to hold your instrument, which is already a problem, because as soon as you are with the mind blocking what you can play, you can play much better than what you play. But the problem is that it's not the fingers or the technique or this. Sometimes it is, but not all the time. Sometimes it's just that there's a block, mental block, and then therefore that's not allowing to flow yourself. So the other thing, which Paco did emphasize a lot, is that the path to follow is the improvisational path, not the falseta playing path. Falseta playing path is very narrow, very small, very religional, very folkloric, you may say even very kitsch thing, because it's just, there is no space for you. When you play falsetas, you have to play the part. You may play with variations and with nuances, yeah, but you have to play what is there, which is not you, by the way. When you improvise, then there you are you. So there is a space for you, probably sometimes a lot of space. So this thing is important to understand, because we start, first of all, the narrow-minded ones who do not accept the line of Paco, the direction it took flamenco, contemporary guitar, which means Paco de Lucia. They are confused. This is one thing about the technique, or about the goal, actually, because the goal is not to play, to keep repeating over and over one thing, right? And also you need to learn to play with others. It's like if you're a driver, you have to say, I'm a great driver, but I can only go in the lane alone. There should not be any other cars. I'm a great driver, but I cannot drive with others. If there are other cars, then it's a mess. So that seems a joke. So you need to be trained to play with others also, because music, fun really here, it starts when we play in group or in a band. And of course we have to train that in our control environment, with the recordings, rehearsals, stuff. But you use the jam tracks how? You use it not to do a karaoke thing for amusement, but because you need to train in a control environment situation. So all these things need to be understood. The flamenco did change a lot because of Paco, and nobody's following this really, the so-called the stars. I could tell anyone on technique or on anything. They really don't know what they are doing. They just keep repeating themselves over and over, in my opinion, right? I'm just saying because you asked me. And this is why I would insist that you can explore through the best technique, which is Paco de Lucia's technique. Then you can explore who are you and unblock the mind also when you are playing, in a way that you can play as best as you can play in that moment there, and accept it and learn to like what you are doing. But if you like it, then the audience will like it. If you don't like what you are doing, how the others will do? Or if you play to impress others, let's say. So people will press to play with having the goal in their minds to impress the audience. And then that doesn't work. It may work one time, two, but then what we do? Then we'll keep repeating the same thing. And also this falseta playing is a very narrow thing. That is really there. In fact, Paco said it, and I will post up the description where he said it. Because you watch that video when it was anniversary of his disappearance, February of this year. Then I made some videos there, and one of them was about the metronome advice, how he emphasizes, and he said, all my life I have the metronome in the pocket. He said to Farruko, to his own dancer, what to speak of us or practitioners or students or people amateur. Like, this is very serious here, this thing, because until we understand the essence and what's the direction we're going to, then we're just wasting time. Then this is one part. Then the other part is the direction to be taken, is the improvisational path. And Paco said this himself in that interview. You watch it in the description, I will post it as the first link. You watch that and you see Paco saying the improvisational path. Everybody, doesn't matter which style they play, flamenco, classical, or anything, they have to go to that. Because why? There you can be you, and you learn how you are playing. So how you are playing also means how you are breathing while you play, how relaxed you are, how you feel with your instrument, if you can grab your instrument properly, and feel that you like what you are doing. And then once you can do that, then that's you. The other thing is just like classic music, which is over and over, playing and playing and playing, and parroting. falsetas, it's not flamenco. At least this is not the Paco de Lucia style for sure, because he never played one thing twice same, never. So just keep repeating stuff. This is a very primitive thing, and this, of course, that's not the modern style as well. And everybody's doing this also now here in Spain, and they think they are evolving or doing modern stuff, but that's not true, because they are just doing the same. Only thing that they are doing the same over the same of the same, so much though that they don't know it's the same anymore, because they are so much stepped into it. Right? So that's why Paco said there that you have to create deliberately every passage there in the moment, the spot. When you create music in the spot, that's real music. When you are repeating notes made by others, of course we have to start somewhere. Meaning this is the goal. I don't mean that people who are beginners in the study program or in any other system, or they start to play, they have to start somewhere, and then it's like if you recite a poem. Say your goal is to write poems, you have to write a poem you. So if you keep reciting the poems of others, then how you will do? But of course, in the beginning, one has to study literature. That you have to do Shakespeare, this stuff, here Miguel de Cervantes and Spain, etc. You need to know the great masters of the past. But then once you know that, and now you have to be you. And to be you, you have to know what's the direction to be followed, why you're following this path. And then it doesn't matter also if you are professional or not. I have best students now, people that plays for fun. And some of them maybe have only 20 minutes a day to practice. So that's also not because the mind will immediately tell you this rationalization that if you don't have a lot of time or you're not a professional, that's why you're okay. It's good that you stop playing, because anyway you're not involved in this seriously. So that's also a self-cheating, self-deceiving way, right? So the real thing is, even if you play 5 minutes a day, but you play 5 minutes authentic you, and you play a solo over another person's, say any other people compositions, like this I play now, I can play over anything and be me. This is one thing. And then when you play the falsetto thing, then you have to play the part only. Then there is no space for you. And this, of course, I'm not saying now that we should not play falsettas, for the sake of God. I have more than 1,500 videos on this channel you're watching now. So I do care about falsetto playing also, because unless we have the structure and know also that is one part, but that's one part, 40% let's say, most, and 60% is this thing. How you will develop you. And to develop you, you have to understand the goal, how you play now in the present. Can you play the thing well? Do you have your technique all right, your rhythm all right? How do you feel when you play? Do you feel relaxed or tense? Do you have any postural problems or not? How are you studying? Are you doing it yourself, the thing, or you're trying to fly airplanes with YouTube tutorials, or taking the real training course? All these things matter, not if you're amateur or not, that doesn't matter really. What it matters is that you love music and you want to advance, to progress and to explore your full potential, you know, and play as best as you can play. Then that's your playing. It doesn't matter if it's simple melodies or not very fast technique stuff, no problem. But music has to make sense. To make sense, you have to know who you are first. This is one thing. And teachers teach you how to discover that. That's a real teacher, not one who teach you how to parrot stuff all over and over. So if you pick the essence of a teacher, then you will end up knowing yourself. And then when you know who are you, then of course you can also offer that to the audience. I hope this helped you, this advice. Thank you, and I see you next time.